The moment the flame refuses to catch is the moment most people realize how fragile their survival plan actually is. It doesn't happen in ideal conditions. It happens when your hands are cold, your lighter is empty, your matches are damp, and the wind is pulling heat away faster than you can create it. Fire is not just warmth. It is water purification, food safety, signaling, psychological stability, and protection. Without it, even a well-prepared individual can begin to fail within hours in harsh environments. The danger is not simply not having fire. The danger is believing that fire is easy. At a surface level, most people understand fire as a simple triangle: heat, fuel, oxygen. This is repeated so often that it becomes dangerously misleading, because knowing the components does not mean you can reliably produce the reaction under stress. The real-world failure rate of fire starting in uncontrolled environments is far higher than most assume, especially when environmental variables, humidity, wind velocity, material density, and thermal conductivity begin to interact in unpredictable ways. Fire is not a switch. It is a chemical process that must overcome energy barriers before it sustains itself. The common misunderstanding begins with over-reliance on convenience tools. Disposable lighters, basic matches, even ferro rods are treated as guaranteed solutions rather than probabilistic tools. A lighter fails when fuel pressure drops in cold temperatures due to reduced vapor pressure. Matches fail when moisture disrupts the oxidizing compounds embedded in their heads. Ferro rods, often marketed as works in any condition, still require proper tinder preparation, angle control, and sufficient spark temperature transfer. The assumption is that the tool creates fire. In reality, the tool only initiates a reaction that must already be correctly staged. The hidden science lies in ignition energy and heat transfer efficiency. Every combustible material has an ignition temperature, but reaching that temperature is not enough. The rate of heat input must exceed the rate of heat loss. This is where most failures occur. When you strike a spark or apply a flame, the energy disperses into surrounding air, into the ground, into moisture within the material itself. If the thermal mass of the fuel is too high or its surface area too low, the heat dissipates before ignition stabilizes. This is why fine, dry tinder, materials with high surface area to volume ratio, ignites more easily. It allows heat to concentrate faster than it can escape. Scientific testing of ignition sources consistently shows that success is determined less by the intensity of the spark and more by the preparation of the fuel. Studies in combustion physics demonstrate that materials like shredded bark, dry grasses, and processed fibers ignite at significantly lower sustained energy thresholds because their structure traps heat and allows oxygen to flow simultaneously. In contrast, dense materials like solid wood require prolonged heat exposure to reach pyrolysis, the stage where they release flammable gases. Without achieving pyrolysis, wood does not burn in the way most people think. It merely heats and cools. The survival implication is immediate and severe. If you cannot transition from ignition to sustained combustion quickly, your energy expenditure increases while your chances of success decrease. In cold environments, this becomes a compounding failure loop. Your body loses heat while you attempt to generate heat externally. Cognitive function declines, dexterity drops, and your ability to perform fine motor tasks, like preparing tinder or controlling a spark, deteriorates. Fire starting is not just a skill, it is a race against physiological decline. As conditions worsen, small inefficiencies become critical failures. Wind increases convective heat loss, stripping energy from your ignition point. Moisture increases the specific heat capacity of your materials, meaning more energy is required just to evaporate water before combustion can even begin. Altitude reduces oxygen density, altering flame behavior and reducing combustion efficiency. These variables are rarely accounted for in basic survival instruction, yet they define real-world outcomes. Transitioning from this understanding, the next layer of failure becomes clear. Most people prepare tools. Very few prepare systems. And without a system, without a repeatable, adaptable method that accounts for environmental variables, fire remains unreliable. The hidden methods that consistently work are not based on luck or brute force. They are based on controlling energy flow, manipulating material structure, and reducing lost pathways before ignition even begins.